Ladies and gentlemen, well, that just instantly transferred over. I'm not sure what happened to my little fancy overlay, but instant quick over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome without Salic because he's off making food. Welcome to XLNC Shoutcasting. I'm Jake Kelton, your #1 fan because I love you and you're the best. Coming out to play, thank you, appreciate that. As we get 3 potatoes and a carrot offered for Sajaces. I don't know, can anyone go better than 3 potatoes and a carrot? 3 potatoes and a carrot, 3 potatoes and a carrot, ladies and gentlemen, do I hear 3 potatoes and a carrot and a tomato? 3 potatoes and a carrot and tomato, 3 potatoes and 2 tomatoes, 2 tomatoes? If I could talk a little bit clearer, I might be able to be one of those auctioneers, but I'm auctioning off players of League of Legends for vegetables. This is forward thinking, guys. This is forward thinking. Yasuo and Vladimir banned away Infernal Gamers versus Totes Balanced, which I pretty digging these names, guys. I'm pretty digging these names, even though I came up with one of them. So what I'm curious to see is if we get the Aatrox played in this game, because he's supposed to be slightly nerfed. I know that Fizz is slightly buffed. Watched a great video today talking about how certain champions get buffed or nerfed without ever actually getting buffed or nerfed. Talking about Quinn in the top lane always did okay, but once, it's one of those like multi-layered stacks, right? After tanks got nerfed, bruisers were better because tanks got nerfed. As soon as bruisers got better, the counter to bruisers was Quinn, so Quinn got better. And so when you multi-layer those shiftings of power ranking and one thing gets changed, wait on here, one item gets changed, then the next thing gets changed, the next thing gets changed, the next thing gets changed, the next thing you know, it's something crazy. The video also talked about a really cool thing with Bard that happened over, I believe it was in the Oceanic server or the Chinese circuit. A team took Bard level 1 and found a ridiculous invade strategy on the bottom side of the map. All 5 went through, and they were able to pick up a first kill and then snowball that into a win. Then they did the same thing, but on the opposite side of the map for the next game they went into. And suddenly everyone was up in arms. Bard is OP, Bard is OP, ban him away, or nerf him, nerf him. And the response was for Riot was to simply just wait. Because all it took was for teams to realize that as soon as they pick Bard, okay, we have to change up our warding pattern because he's not going to go the typical routes. So let's ward here, let's ward here, let's ward behind the dragon pit, and we're good to go. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of time for people to figure out counter strategies. Whereas right now, in the game, Heimerdinger and Fiddlesticks is a crazy powerful bot lane. I think if you give it a little bit of time, you'll eventually see some counter picks, things that can take down Heimerdinger, such as we talked about last week, the Pike using the Bone Skewer to pull those turrets into the minion wave. That's a great counter. We'll see if that's something they decide to do, as Death's Design grabs Shaco for the jungle. So that's who he decided to pick to make game 1 exciting, and we'll see if he can pull off some pretty sick assassinations on Misfortune, as Bears are the best. Welcome! This might be your first or second time playing on the stream, showing up to play Misfortune. Appreciate you coming out and playing. Dragon Rage should have mouth not playing Gragas despite it being up and available. Instead goes for the Riven, playing for Infernal Gamers, which, by the way, in case you didn't hear, blue team is Infernal Gamers, red team is Totes Balanced, and we are getting into game number 1.
All right. Well, something I do want to note is that that Shaco dropped Smite, so that might be Shaco somewhere we're not used to seeing Shaco. Another thing that we do want to point out is this is the first stream that we've had since the teleport ban, so I do not expect to see very many teleports. Or I'm sorry, teleport nerf.
Nerf. I was about to say, I don't.
Banned.
They banned teleport.
Summoner spell.
No more teleports. Nobody gets to do it. You cannot
That'd
do
be
it. Top lane
That'd
is
be a
gone.
weird thing.
Nobody
a weird
gets
thing
top
to do.
lane
Like
anymore.
change it where you could ban summoner spells instead of banning champions.
I think if they literally banned teleport, like if Riot took out teleport out of the game, you would see less junglers. This is a crazy offshoot prediction as we get into the second bans here, is that I would think that if they took away teleport, the opportunity for somebody in the top lane to just teleport right back and keep the lane pushed, you would eventually get to see kind of like what you see in the bottom lane, is 2 people top, 2 people bottom, 1 person in the middle, and the 2 on the 1 person in the top and 1 person in the bottom, we see some of that now, taking Smite. And that way they can go into their own jungle, pick up some extra jungle farm before coming back out to the lane whenever there's opportunity to do so. And it's kind of a shift on what's currently in the meta. Sometimes teams will pick double smite for the mid lane and the jungler. But I think that because you need to have that somebody in the top lane, otherwise it will get destroyed. I think if you took teleport completely away, you would see 2 in the top lane. That's just random off the side. As Phantom of Temp grabs Pyke, we've seen him on this champion before. Pretty good, especially on those ultimates.
Yeah, and I'm expecting to see Sejasis possibly pick up the Lee Sin here, as Sejasis has a very strong Riven, and Dragon Rage to the Mouth is known for, Dragon Rage, Lee Sin. I could be completely wrong there, of course. That might be, no, there's the Gragas you were looking for.
Hey!
There's the Gragas you were looking for. And Fallen Angel looks like it's going to be the Aatrox. Yes, locked in.
Okay.
We do see Death's Design and Fallen Angel both sitting on Smite right now. Of course, that could change. I do like the team comp out of Totes balanced. The only thing I'd be wary of on their side is they are quite squishy except for that Aatrox, and their only source of magic damage is DRF Cobra on that Heimerdinger. Of course, you keep that in mind. When itemizing, you could do some severe damage against their ability to do damage. my brain is like in 7 different places right now.
That's all right. Well, next time we'll get you some monster for the stream. That's what I need. Every time I stream, I'm like, let me just pump my energy to insane levels. I'm questioning how I'm going to do Dragon Con, where it's going to be somewhere between about 7 to 8 hours straight of shoutcasting, which I am psyched about, but also ever so slightly terrified. And yeah. But let's go through the players and their champions for game number 1 of tonight. As for Infernal Gamers, we've got Bears Are the Best taking Misfortune in bottom lane 80 carry role. Dragon Rage to the Mouth with the Gragas in the mid lane. As Swipper is going to be the jungle Nidalee for this team. No free names on the bottom lane. Thresh going aggressive with that Ignite. And Sejasis on the Riven in the top lane.
And then on the side of Totes Balance, you've got DRF Cobra running Heimerdinger. Death's Design on the Shaco, possibly mid, maybe? Yeah, mid. I think that's going to be a Heimerdinger, Pyke, bottom lane with Phantom of Temp taking Pyke to support. Delicious Seal taking Zed into the top lane. And wrapping it up with Fallen Angel on Aatrox in the jungle. That's gonna be that's my call, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, I'm gonna counter that and say it's more likely Death's Design on the Shaco. He's a pretty darn good Poppy player. Seen him do it a handful of times in the top lane. So we'll probably be Shaco top lane, using those brushes to an advantage with Zed in the mid lane, Aatrox in the jungle, Pyke Heimer in the bottom lane, like you said. I like the idea of the Heimer Pyke in the bottom lane because you don't have to deal with somebody trying to counterpick the Pyke to deal with the turrets of the Heimerdinger like we talked about at the beginning of Picks and Bans. And then secondly, Pyke can pull people into a grenade from Heimerdinger, get the stun, throw down the mega turret, and just all of the damage. Plus, one of the issues with Heimerdinger is that he himself doesn't do that much damage. It's its turrets, and oftentimes people can flash away with 200 health, and you're like, oh, if only I had a turret that had a little more range or a laser that could chase them or anything. But there's Pyke with the ultimate for the execution, finishing people off. It will be a strong bottom lane. One of the nice things on the side of Infernal Gamers is you've got Misfortune, however, and she has her nice double up, which means that she can hit a turret, auto attack a turret once, hit it with a Q, that's going to bounce, and if she lines that up with Heimerdinger in the background, she can pump out massive damage. And Heimerdinger is a squishy champion, ladies and gentlemen. He gets popped very easily.
Yeah, that's the thing you got to watch out for if you're Heimerdinger and Pyke in this bottom lane, is that if that double up does manage to kill a turret or any minion, remember that is an automatic critical strike on the second target if that does hit. So that's something that they need to be wary of as they're moving forward and engaging, or looking to at least get some poke damage down onto Thresh and Misfortune.
And the other thing with the Thresh that I've learned, and this is how I play Thresh, which I'm kind of one-tricking right now, is he's a great counter to Pyke. When Pyke first came out, everyone thought he was broken. Waited a little bit, everyone thought that he was crap. Now, he's one of those champions that you can counterpick. Sometimes he's extremely strong, sometimes he's weak. Thresh, I've found that I like counterpicking because every time he jumps in trying to get that stun with his Water Shadow, Thresh can just flay him backwards. You can flay him mid-jump. So he just doesn't ever hit anyone. As long as you position well, you throw that Flay out. It's kind of like an anti-Leona in a sense. It's really, really nice. So we'll see if they can do that. Otherwise, if the Heimerdinger and the Pike get the early edge on the bottom lane, it could be really good for Totes balance, because once they get that pressure started, Misfortune's going to have a hard time farming, and it's going to be all over for the side of Infernal Gamers unless they get help from their jungler. Which, that's the next thing I wanted to ask you about, was what do you think about the Aatrox in the jungle for Totes balance? Fallen Angel, YT16 picking that one up. We have not seen a new Aatrox in the jungle yet on this stream.
I've seen it played in solo queue, and I like it, honestly. It's a strong pick, especially with the ability to use the E to dash in a little bit further. If they can land the Infernal Chains too, that can force out a flash on an early gank and give you 5 minutes of opportunity to revisit that lane and use that same Infernal Chains, especially if they're trying to, in that bottom lane, keep the minions between them and the Pike. Then they're open to an invade from the Aatrox and open to that Infernal Chains landing. And if you hit that Infernal Chains, you hit Q1, you hit Q2, and you don't even have to hit Q3, because by that time they're dead to the Pike and the Heimerdinger.
Especially the squishy lineup of Infernal Gamers, Nidalee, Misfortune, maybe even the AP Gragas might be falling to the blade of the Aatrox. The other thing that I wanted to note is the jungle for Infernal Gamers, Nidalee, Swipper playing that one, needs to land every spear. It's actually incredibly critical, and the reason why is that so many members of Totes Balance have easy escape mechanics. Zed, Pike, Shaco, all free dashes. Aatrox, even his small dash can get him over certain walls. So if you miss the spear, you don't have that guaranteed jump with your pounce, which means that you're not going to be able to follow people through. So if you hit the spear, wait for them to do their dash, then follow with pounce, you're going to be able to follow them through. Otherwise, it's going to be very weak ganks from the side of Nidalee if she's missing those initial spears.
Ooh, I bug splatted.
I did too. Unable to download spectator data. The game will now exit. Waiting for stats. All right, so I'm going to try to actually spectate the game again.
Yeah, I'm relaunching as well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we may be changing things up. This is not unknown. This is actually, I've seen this happen 2 or 3 times now, which sucks. Not from my stream, but I've talked to some other people that say that currently this patch is horrific for spectator. Something changed in the game, and it meant that spectating is having a lot more of a difficult time. And despite being friends with pretty much everyone in the game, it's not giving me the option to spectate here. So my only hope now is to go to op.gg. Let's type in, let's see here, Phantom of Temp. And see if I can, is not in an active game. Please try again later if the summer is in a current game. Oh, Phantom of Temp is definitely in the middle of a game. I promise you that. Promise you that. What happened is that the spectator sucks right now on the current patch of League of Legends, and so it kicked everybody out. So we do not have, basically, if I had to explain it in tech terms, there is no spectator information in the game for us to read. Even if you go to op.gg right now to watch somebody in the live game, it's saying that you are not in an active game. Yeah, the game is still fine. You guys are still running. But nowhere can we spectate the game because it's not. Even op.gg. Is there anywhere else to... Do you know of any other place besides op.gg that you can watch games? Because op.gg is saying that they're not even in a live game.
Oh, I'm live with them, by the way.
Oh, what? How?
I have them. I have it.
But how? All right. Well, in the meantime, are you streaming it?
I believe so. Let me double check that. Yes, XSplit is live, so I am streaming.
Okay, I will pull that up for now, so we'll at least have that running. And I will figure out. Did you reload your entire League client?
Yes. Oh no, I did not reload my entire client. I just reloaded the game and it worked.
All right. Well, you can cast. I've got it set to the side. It's an instant replay, but it'll still work, so you can actually shoutcast it.
All right, so Jace is getting some decent damage down in the top lane with that level advantage over Death's Design right now. Level 2 for Sejaces, level 1 for the Shaco. As you were right, here we go. Sejaces going in for the all-in. This Death's Design forced to flash away as Sejaces burns the Ignite. to get that down. A little bit of poke damage going from Delicious Seal onto Dragon Rage to the mouth in the mid lane. Just a couple shurikens tossed out, nothing too crazy. Death's Design finally hits level 2, falling a good little chunk behind here. And that's the flash out of Dragon Rage. That was abnormal. And even the question mark ping from Delicious Seal, like, what was that? Swipper disconnecting here, so we should see a pause here shortly as Delicious Seal goes in. Body Slam, though, disengages that. Here, nice and slow. There's the pause we were expecting as Swipper did DC. So a nice little moment to take stock here, see how things are going. Bot lane, even on CS right now. Pyke's picked up a couple extras, and with that Relic Shield means that Heimer does have just a tad more gold. And Swipper is already back and ready to go here, so we should see them continue this game out here in just a moment. I apologize, everyone, for the slight delay.
Yeah, every single person that's in that game, if I go to right-click to then hit spectator mode is unavailable for me.
Huh. That is very weird. Hi, everybody. I'm Salik, and I'm apparently solo casting now because Jake can't get in.
That's basically what's happening right now.
All right, so Jason's coming in on Death's Design, gets a stun, goes to the knockup, and Death's Design manages to port away just a little bit, but is falling massively behind on CS. 18, 19 CS now as Jason begins to clean up the last of that wave to 4. As Delicious Seal pops in, goes for the engage, ignite ticking away, does manage to get the kill onto Dragon Rage to the mouth. That is not first blood, though. We missed that earlier. It went over to Bears Are the Best. Picked up first blood before we got into the game. I apologize, everyone, that we missed that. I might go back and look at it a little bit later. Death's Design keeping himself safe with the Jack in the Boxes, making sure that Sejasus cannot come in from the side up there on the top side of the map. Ghost Water dive from Phantom of Temp does come in, does not land a stun on anyone, though. No Free Names gets exhausted by Phantom Attempt. A little bit more damage. Phantom Attempt takes the Ignite. DRF Cobra looking die. It falls. And Bears just barely does not get the double up bounce. However, we do see the trade of kills as No Free Names goes down on the Thresh as well. So Jason's cleaning up the top lane, forcing it in. Death's Design down 25 CS right now, 32-7. A little bit of farming going on. Nobody has real strong vision at the moment, which is something that we want to be looking for here. As Death's Design using the daggers, using a little bit of force. Here we go. Dragon Rage to the mouth comes in. Delicious Seal throws out the shadow to dissuade him, and that is going to be the end of that engagement as Delicious Seal backs off. Phantom Attempt coming in, however, has no backup here. Forced to flash away from his own engagement. And does not go down to the Ignite. So that did burn Dragon Rage's Ignite, so that's something that is going to work to the benefit of Delicious Seal so long as he can get a chance to back here. Dragon Rage pushing him in does not have too much longer to go until he hits level 6. But Seal is going to be able to back out there. Cobra managing to hold his own down here in the bottom lane while Phantom of Temp gets the roam out.
Yeah,
Nothing
I have.
too out of the
This
ordinary.
is so
Go.
weird. I have
You can't get in at all?
no conclusion on what's doing it. I can spectate other people's games. I just tested it, and I can spectate other people's games just fine. But anyone who's in that game, for me, it's just saying unselectable spectate game. So I'll have to spectate from the information that I can see off to the side. So I guess I'll be the color caster for this game. let's try it. Let's go for it.
All right,
I'm
we'll
the color
flip it.
caster. You just remember that you are about 2 to 3 seconds behind what is actually being shown. So keep that in mind when you're casting, as we do see on the bottom side, Heimerdinger getting a little bit of poke onto the Misfortune, but
That was
so
a
far
nice engagement.
2 kills to Q.
There we go. Bears comes in.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. You're okay. Got it. You're still doing play-by-play. Okay.
No. You're the play-by-play. So it's going to be
okay.
Misfortune that does fall. I'm just kind of filling in right now as Thresh flashes to get back underneath the turret. You are the play-by-play, so you interrupt me as I'm just going to analyze.
Oh, Fallen Angel sitting on top of Ward. Sejaces goes in for the advance, and that is a quick, easy kill for Sejaces. Fallen Angel only level 3 on this Aatrox, not farming very well in the jungle right now, as Swipper has already hit level 4. Not too much of a discrepancy, but still enough to cause easy kill there for Sejaces, as Swipper is cleaning up this blue buff.
Yep, so 3 kills to 3, but one of the main things is Misfortune is now 2 kills up, and that is a big deal. It's tied with the Heimerdinger's 2 kills, but for the side of Infernal Gamers, it's really important that she has
We got the
kills.
engage coming in. Nothing gets disengaged, actually. Never mind. Oh my! Cobra completely destroys Thresh on there, thanks to Phantom Temp's beautiful engagement from the dash there, and that caused a stun, which was layered on with the Heimerdinger stun. Bears, though, managing to clear out the turret, so he's not going to take too much damage as Jason steps up and does get the Ignite down on Death's Design, but flashes in, and Death's Design just throws his Ignite down and gets that as on the bottom side, DRF Cobra and Phantom of Temp clean up another kill, and that just swung massively in the favor of
Totes
the red side.
Totes balance. We talked about at the beginning the wombo combo of the Pike and the Heimerdinger being able to get that pulls the Thresh right into the stun from Heimerdinger, who doesn't even use the right turret, just goes for the rockets because he's right there, can just spam him out, slam down 16 rockets of massive damage, even early into the game, now backing with 4 kills. Pretty happy to already get started on some of his major items, and going with that Magic Pen boots very early into the game means that he's going to hurt even more, especially against a Misfortune who hasn't built any magic resistance. Thresh picking up the Negatron Cloak is good, but is going to have a ways to go to actually get tanky.
Swipper endangered. Swipper getting collapsed on here. That's going to be 4 people committed into that. And the ultimate committed by Gragas does force Delicious Seal in a little further than I think he wanted to go as the fight gets turned around. Dragon Rage to the mouth lands a kill down onto Aatrox. DRF Cobra falls back and does fall to Bears Are the Best in there as that gets turned around beautifully.
Yeah, Misfortune's positioning so good to follow onto Heimerdinger. They didn't have the setup time which you want with a Heimerdinger to get those turrets down and find good positioning, which meant that he only got 1 turret, and that was way too late, as Misfortune's just going to come from the side. A little bit of a hook there from the Thresh, kind of threatening onto the Pike, but I don't think they're going to die for that, considering that he's such a hard champion to really lock down without that ultimate of Gragas.
And that's exactly it. He would have been able to slip away from that dive if they had gone for it. However, they are positioning themselves around the Dragon Pit now, as Phantom Attempt does get spotted by No Free Names here. No Free Names looking to land a hook if he has the opportunity, but does not.
Good timing on the casting there. It was perfect with the hook, but Thresh doesn't land it. Clears the ward. Good vision there. Do you mind moving the mouse? It's currently sitting on the mini-map.
I apologize.
Oh, you are totally fine. You could also hit, I believe it is O.
Oh, he lands the hook through, or the flay through Ghostwater Dive. Swipper lands the spear and does manage to get the execution onto Phantom of Temp right at the last little micron of the spear's range.
Thank you, G Deadless, for subbing, especially considering that we are extra casting here for some reason, or not for some reason. Spectator is really bugged right now, so we're casting from Salix's computer as I'm doing a little bit of analyzing. So as there's a little bit of gank in the mid lane, Misfortune ult used in the bottom lane as well, mostly for pushing the Heimerdinger back. It's 16,000 gold, which you're not going to think from Infernal Gamers. They're 1,000 gold ahead, and mostly, despite the kills going in the opposite direction, it's due to their laners sitting in lane longer. A lot of roaming from Totes Balance, but not much shown for it, and no one has gotten that Infernal Drake just yet, which both teams would love to have.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that if that falls down, that's going to be a thing. As No Free Names goes in, manages to get the box down, but Cobra just executes him, and Phantom of Temp follows up, gets both those kills on the bot side, and manages to get them onto Heimerdinger. Of course, Pike committed the ult both times there, as Death's Design manages to use the box to take down Swipper here in the top lane. So kills all across the map going in favor of Totes Balanced, making that gold 1,000 gold lead in their favor. Is Death's Design sitting in this bush waiting to jump on Sedacious, steps up, throws the dagger, And he does manage to get the kill, even though he does fall himself. So a trade on the top side as Dragon Rage to the mouth engages on Fallen Angel and Phantom of Temp. Phantom of Temp manages to throw him back. Fallen Angel. Here comes the assassination from Delicious Seal. And that's going to be that. However, Infernal Drake dealing damage to them the entire time there results in a dead Heimerdinger as well.
Yeah, Aatrox fell, which was really, really good for Gragas to actually get something. 1v3, not exactly what you want to see, but back and forth kills across the map. We've seen it many times before. It is solo queue or close enough, and this is what happens. Everyone just wants extra kills. Everyone keeps diving. I got to say, Death Design's moves on this Shaco in the top lane can make anyone jealous. Being able to hop out from inside his turrets completely dissuades the engage from the Nidalee, and on top of that, being able to throw boxes in front of Nidalee's spear just makes her engage so much harder. As he talked about, she needs to land those spears to be able to pounce afterwards, and beautiful plays there from Totes balanced. However, sometimes going a little bit over-aggressive.
Yep, we are stacking up around the Drake here on the bottom side of the map. DRF Cobra, Death's Design, the entirety of Totes balance here sitting. Death's Design does throw out it, gets oh no box lands, so he does not get the fear off. However, Delicious Seal comes in and just pops Riven here. Aatrox falls to the Misfortune ult. Cobra here down in the bottom side. No free names. Looks like he might fall here. Phantom Attempt manages to pull Bears to the best back. Once again, Infernal Drake dealing damage to the entire team this whole time. They do manage to pick up the kills, and they do manage to stay alive through it all.
Yeah, so close on Phantom of Temp, so low. Nidalee just going to be shoved away, so that should be Infernal Drake going over to Totes balance, but yeah, so close to being able to finish off Phantom of Temp, unable to quite do so. That regen when he's invisible, as Nidalee may be falling here, trying to run.
Yep.
Death Design chasing, and Phantom of Temp here as well. That's pretty much a dead Nidalee, not much you can do. And the key with Pyke is you need to use wards, ladies and gentlemen.
There goes first turret. Dragon Rage to the mouth manages to split push while that fight gets extended on the bot side of the map, and therefore first tower goes over to the side of Infernal Gamers as, oh my gosh, Sejasis comes in with a massive engage, takes down one. Phantom of Temp gets finished off by Bears of the Best as Delicious Seal comes in, pops Sejasis. Bears of the Best versus Delicious Seal, ADC versus Zed. This is the worst thing you want, but no free names walks in with the Thresh. Dragon Rage to the mouth fighting Death's Design off to the side, and that is going to be Dragon Rage landing the ult. Bears gets the finish off. However, that is on Shaco's clone and not on the real thing. They did manage to get the kill onto Zed as Death's Design comes in with the fear, does manage to take out Misfortune, and he goes for no free names. However, that is not going to be a kill as no free names does manage to retreat back under the tower.
Oh, what a bloody fight in the mid lane. Beautiful engage. Totes balance, feeling they had the advantage because they had more members, but the members of Infernal Gamers, especially Bears are Best, doing an incredible job of kiting back and forth and around the fight. Death's Design going in, just getting a little bit of harass on no free names. And that's one of the major things right now, is that the mobility from Totes balance is making it very difficult for the Thresh to land these death sentences. So he needs to be able to wait for somebody to use their mobility first and then try to throw one of those hooks afterwards, because so far he's had a really rough time doing that.
Yeah, they're not having much advantage with that, as Bears are the Best getting the engage on a Phantom of Temp, uses the ultimate, but then it's immediately disengaged by Phantom of Temp, and he gets the execution there. Death's Design retreats in the mid lane, does manage to fall back as bot side, it looks like it's going to be a tower falling in favor of Totes balanced.
Yeah, Bears are Best, trying to do what he can in the bottom lane to push them off of the turret.
Delicious Seal goes for the engage here on Swipper, does land the ultimate. The pop comes through, and that is going to be execution onto Swipper's Nidalee. Now 1-4-1 on this pick. Having a really rough time on this champion, and Delicious Seal does manage to finish off that top lane tower as well.
Well, one of the things with Nidalee is you don't want to be against bursting champions. You want to be against teams that you can poke down.
Right on the edge. Okay, sorry. Right on the edge of the
Oh, the grenade from from the Heimerdinger. That's going to be the Gragas. Eventually falls. Fallen Angel, Y16 picking that one up. Beautiful play in the mid lane from Heimerdinger.
Delicious Seal hunting Sejasis, does manage to get the shield down and goes in, gets the execution on Delicious Seal. What an amazing play by Sejasis there.
Yeah, nicely done.
I thought that was going to be a dead Sagacious.
Well, got that initial jump for the stun, and one of the things we're talking about with that Nidalee Zed is also going to be following to it, is you throw a little CC down, and you can pop someone because they're so darn squishy. That's why we're up to 36 kills in a game that's at 16 minutes. It's been insanely bloody, back and forth, but the 7 and 2 Zed,
Oh my
7 and 5
gosh.
Heimerdinger, just insane. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no, I was just commenting on the
just saw it.
double up that just destroyed Heimerdinger's health bar.
Well, that's the thing with the lethality misfortune. Bears the best doing a really good job of going for this build because so many members on Totes Balance.
Best design here on Swipper. Does come in, manages to steal away a lot of the Krugs, and Death's Design just sends the clone in to chase Swipper down to get the execution. One Jack in the Box down. Sagacious goes in, does not get feared by the, does get the fear cancel off.
Oh, yeah.
Disengages.
Didn't even know the box was there with that little AoE.
There's the best, gets stunned up here. Not really much follow-up on that fight, though. Phantom of Temp goes for the engagement and just whiffs everything else because he doesn't have a teammate there to back him up. We do have Fallen Angel does manage to get the Resurrect off. DRF Cobra pops his stopwatch, I believe. Yes. But just delays the inevitable as he does eventually fall here. Sagacious gets knocked up. Fallen Angel does manage to finish off that kill. No free names, though. Lands the hook. Bears the best. Gets in there. Death's Design coming in from behind, trying to get the kills off.
That was so beautiful.
And does get the kill, however, is going to take the trade as Bears of the Best does finish him off. However, on the top side of the map, Delicious Seal is pushing in this second-tier turret and is going to take it for the side of Totes Balanced.
Bears are the best. So close to falling to those boxes. It's ridiculous in the river. But one of the things I'm watching from Infernal gamers, despite being down in kills, is that they're playing these fights out so well when it comes to their cooldowns, forcing Totes Balance to have to either back, recall, or just wait on the side before they get some of their cooldowns to come back in. And really, everyone is almost, in a weird way, funnel comping for the Misfortune. 9, 6, and 1. Been able to be killed a couple of times, but has probably, though I can't check personally, if you hit X you can show it, the most gold for the team. Sagacious does insane burst damage on the Riven, but Misfortune is that overtime damage. 9,000 gold. That's 4,000 over the highest other person in the game, or 2,000, I guess, over the Riven. That is huge. If they can keep this Misfortune fed, the game should be theirs in any late game team fight.
And Delicious Seal goes in here, however, gets stuffed by Sagacious, as Sagacious does immediately land the stun as soon as Delicious Seal comes out of the ultimate. However, it is pulled back by Delicious Seal, does manage to get out of that re-engage. Yeah,
nice escape from Delicious Seal, but that's that assassin stun. Go ahead. You're the play-by-play. If something going on, you do it.
Death's Design does manage to just barely escape from the counter engage by Dragon Rage to the mouth. Phantom Attempt misses his Bone Skewer and has to flash over the wall in order to get away from the side. Here we go. He's sitting over the side, throws the Bone Skewer out, does land it on Bears of the Best, but no one there to follow up once again. Phantom Attempt is making a lot of engages here that are just out of place as Sagacious just comes over the wall to finish off Death's Design there. Delicious Seal goes for the engage here onto Sagacious. Looks to pop, makes the pop. DRF Cobra does steal the kill there, but no free names now here against the two carries on the side for the side of his opponent, and that's going to be a Misfortune right into the face of the Aatrox. Phantom Attempt comes in for the engage. Delicious Seal does actually get the kill. Phantom Attempt here chasing in onto Swipper, does put the exhaust down. Bone Skewer throws him back. DRF Cobra doesn't quite land the stun, does get a bit of a slowdown onto Swipper though. Phantom Attempt lands the Ghost Water Dive, manages to get through and gets the stun, gets the kill, and that is going to be a wrap. Not quite an ace though, as Dragon Rage is still up, but still 4 kills for 1.
Yeah, if Dragon Rage had known how few people were down here after a couple of recalls and how low they were, he might have tried to dive the turret as that AP Gragas. You can switch the gold back to the items path. But the main thing for Totes Balance there was beautiful positioning and really relying on waiting for those cooldowns to be burned by Infernal gamers early. There was no peel for Misfortune. no peel at all. She went into the fight post the engage from Totes balance over by the pixel brush, but afterwards there was nothing left. Nice ultimate, got the Aatrox's health super low. He just used his own ultimate, able to regen, come right back up, and no one was able to be finished off. A little more skirmishing. Everyone wants to be around this Drake as it's coming up. It's up now, but it is just I believe it's an Ocean Drake.
Yep, Ocean Drake.
So it's not.
Oh, Delicious Seal comes in. Bears are the best. Bears are the best does use the stopwatch in order to delay the pop from getting him, but he does still fall. As Jace is coming in on the side behind DRF Cobra and Phantom Attempt. Gets the execution onto Cobra. Heimerdinger is down. Phantom Attempt on the run here as his teammates have also backed here. Phantom Attempt gets stunned up by Sejasis. Sejasis using all 3 moves, the Broken Wings, does get stunned up. However, Dragon Rage to the mouth is here, pops the ultimate in order to keep him in, and that's a finished off kill by Swipper. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Shaco is getting a little bit of an invade on the jungle.
Yeah, he's trying to push in, take what he can. He knows that all the members of the side of Infernal Gamer are on that bottom side. Great read by Riven going around the back side of the wall to find the stun onto the Pike, Phantom of 10. So really good job from Infernal Gamers. They're still staying up there despite being down 10 kills. They're only 2,000 gold difference between these two teams, and that is insane. Picking up that Ocean Drake just makes it a little bit closer as well.
Yeah, especially since the Ocean Drake provides that a little bit of additional benefit with that extra regen that you're going to get out of it. Dragon Rage comes in here looking to get some damage down on Death's Design. A little bit of a fear, a little bit of Jack-in-the-Box damage. Nothing that Dragon Rage can't really handle, as he's got 2 allies here around the back side, and that's just going to be auto attacks from Nidalee to finish it off.
Oh, yeah, nice moves there from the Gragas. Puts him in good position to be able to help the rest of the team. Nidalee gets the kill. Now, there is the trade of kills. Shaco finishes off the Gragas, so Dragon Rage will end up falling, but even still, that's one of those trade of kills that you don't mind because you're simply defending your base. It's still going to take a while for the Peikenheimer to push the bottom lane all the way to the second.
Oh, Delicious Seal goes for the engage here. Does have to immediately disengage after burning the ult onto Swipper, but he does manage to pull back and not get it. However, in the meantime, his teammates have taken the red buff.
Yeah, so Toes Balance trying.
That's a stun on the Bears. Bears just walks into 5 members, does pop the GA. However, that's going to be a quick execution from Phantom of Temp on this Pike, and that's a dead misfortune. The Fed member of the team now out of commission for a few seconds, and that's going to give them some time to push in this bottom lane with 3 members down.
Yeah, that's one of those you look back and you regret life's choices. Let the Thresh do the warding. You know that you need to put a ward in there. You know that you need to have vision.
Phantom Attempt comes in and manages to get the execution on Swipper, just walks just barely too far forward as Zed is pushing in the mid lane, and yeah, Infernal does manage to defend the bottom lane tower. However, Zed does push in on the mid lane, and that should be mid lane turret falling. There it goes.
Yeah, Zed 10 and 2 has plenty of damage with the help of that Heimer as well. Got those extra turrets pounding away. And that's one of the siege powers of Totes Balance. If they can continue to draw this game out, taking the small advantages of the neutral buffs in the jungle and taking turret one by one, they will eventually come into a win. What Infernal Gamers want is a massive team fight. They want to have everyone together, 5-man ace, make use of the AoEs of the Riven, the AoEs of the Gragas, split the team up, and then finish them off one by one. But don't combine it with Misfortune too early. Start with the Misfortune ult, get everyone's low, then Gragas ult, and let Riven clean it all up. But we'll see if they can get that 5v5 they're looking for.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that they're keeping the map so pulled apart as Dragon Rage just walk into Delicious Seal. Delicious Seal does have to burn the ult immediately. So Jace jumps into 2 members, as Death's Design had his clone there. Bone Skewer misses, and that's going to leave Death's Design at the mercy of Dragon Rage, throwing out that ultimate and getting the finish with the explosive cask.
Yeah, nicely done. And one of the things with Sejaces is that, or it's a little hard, you say 3 members, and it looks like 3 or feels like 3 because of that clone.
Oh! Phantom Attempt goes for the Bone Skewer, but is caught by the hook, and that is an immediate follow-up with the ultimate, and in that narrow corridor, that just decimated the health bar of Fallen Angel, as that is a dead Aatrox very quickly for the side of Infernal Gamers. There we go.
Yeah, his ultimate was on cooldown, unable to bring it back up. Super took a huge chunk of damage at the end of that fight. So
There's
no
the
opportunity for Baron.
ultimate committed from Delicious Seal. So Jace's does blow the stopwatch in order to prevent it. However, Phantom Attempt goes in for the execution. Lands a triple stun here. Gets 2 executions, and that's a follow-up. That's a quadra kill for this Pyke.
Oh, and beautiful Quadra for the Pyke. Phantom of Temp knows so well what the limits are on this champion. We've seen him play before, and it is Sweets. Welcome, Sweets, back to the stream. Glad to have you. You're free to join in game number 2 if you want to. Phantom of Temp just cleaning up a beautiful Quadra, and the pressure now from Totes Balance is going to continue to mount. They don't have enough members on the map to actually get anything major off of it, but just having those extra kills, the other factor in that was that Zed was the one who last did some damage, and Heimer was around the corner. So all that gold that Pyke just got also went to his allies as well. So it counts as even extra kills for them.
Gets
that
the
means
engage
they're up
on
5,000
Phantom
gold.
of Temp. Does have to flash around the corner. Dragon Rage here does get explosive cask off, but Phantom of Temp manages to go into the Ghostwater Dive, regen some health, and walk away from that with Dragon Rage falling on this Gragas. Delicious Seal engages onto Bears of the Best, gets a quick pop onto the Misfortune as Heimerdinger follows up with an execution of his own. That's going to be, once again, Phantom Attempt going in for a little bit of cleanup, as that is 1 member remaining, getting brought back up by GA. Jace's gets 1 kill, but that is going to be the ace.
Oh yeah, overtime, the Misfortune wanted so badly to finish off Heimer as well, but the CC from Totes Balance was just way too strong. Cobra lives with a sliver of health. Rivet does massive damage, but if she cannot live long enough to do that damage, it won't be enough. And both of them were relying on those Guardian Angels. Misfortune was waiting for hers to come back up, didn't have a golden stopwatch to be able to survive past that Zed's engage. And Dragon Range can get a little bit of burst damage on the inhibitor still falls.
Oh my gosh, Delicious Steel.
Oh, the outplay trying to jump onto. Oh, wow, yep, bursts
Gets
down.
the kill.
The Nidalee, extremely low, gives itself over to a tower. Cobra taking away the blue buff on the side, so it's a trade of kills after the Gragas ultimate pulled him back in. Bottom lane is just Shaco free split pushing. Totes Balance in a pretty good position.
Jack in the boxes everywhere. No free names goes down. That's 2 kills. This is going to be a third. No, Death's Design does fall. 2 Bears of the Best, putting down a lot of damage. However, 2 kills, walking them through a minefield of Jack in the boxes.
That was ridiculous from the Shaco, but you also saw the damage that Misfortune can output with just 1 Q. The crit took about 600 health instantly off of that Shaco. So if they can keep this Misfortune alive, they're still in the game. All it takes is 1 good team fight. So Jace is thinking about going over the wall. The Dragon's getting pretty low, down to about under 200 health.
Did not get it. Look for the wind slash in order to finish it off, and did not quite get it timed correctly. However, the smite was also not timed correctly. The dragon was left with just a little bit of health there, and as a result, it does still go over to the side of Totes Balanced, but it was a lot closer than it probably should have been.
Yep, so Ocean Drakes are tied up between these 2 teams, but it's still an extra Infernal for the side of Totes
from
Balance.
Phantom of Temp does use the Ghostwater Dive, misses both of his CC abilities though, so that is not going to be a death on Sejaces here.
Yeah, Riven with that high mobility, able to just dodge away from those engages by the Pyke. But I love the execution, or the Guardian Angel pickup by this Pyke, means that even if you take him out once, it's going to be so much harder to take him down again.
Collapse on the side of Infernal Gamers here. 4 versus 3. Fallen Angel. Cobra goes down very quickly. Fallen Angel does pop the ultimate. Is getting the resurrection out of it. However, there's going to be a quick fall here as Delicious Seal on the top side, meanwhile, does get his own kill. However, he has to trade it. Phantom of Temp gets the execution.
Yeah, finishes off Swipper. He does so much damage at this point in the game, but they're still wanting to team fight. And we saw that 2 members dropped in the bottom side for Totes Balance, which is pretty darn good. And that's what I'm talking about of those team fights. Ooh, Clone from Shaco gets blown up. And that's the damage that Gragas could put on the Shaco himself if he could pick the right one.
And Shaco, tries to keep going in, but Shaco lands the box, puts the box down, lands a fear, and that's going to be a quick kill going over to the side of Death's Design.
full AP Shaco. Those boxes are so powerful, and as long as you land a Luden's Echo, it's going to bounce and just deal a massive amount of damage. And Gragas is a squishy boy. He did not build tank. He is building AP himself. So burst for burst, eventually Shaco, using that Shadow Dash, is going to be able to get him out of harm's way, gets a kill back himself.
And so that leaves Infernal Gamers with one tower. That one tower is sitting on next to no health there in the Nexus. One inhibitor down, so we're going to see Totes Balanced go after this Baron. Try to use that to secure the game. Delicious Seal goes in onto Sejasis with the ultimate there. Does not get quite enough damage to pop him, I don't think. No, he did not get quite enough there. So that's the Misfortune ultimate committed there. That is a kill onto the Shaco there. But however, Shaco falls while the rest of his team picks up the Baron. And so they're going to be walking it down. Looks like they're just kind of splitting up, going to spread this Baron out a little bit more evenly across the lanes, which is good. We were talking about the team fight presence that Infernal Gamers does have, so it's a good idea to split them up, force them to go. As Delicious Seal goes in again on Sejasis, does manage to Shadow Clone away prior to getting stunned, and that is going to be the kill going over. Pike goes for the ultimate, does not quite get Swipper there. Delicious Seal, though, with a massive wave stacked up on bot side, just letting the Baron minions do their job. Oh my, Swipper just gets decimated.
Swipper super low. Yeah, uses the heal, trying to get back, and should be able to get back to the fountain to keep himself alive. But at this point, Totes Balance has the game in their hands. They're going to take another inhibitor. All they need is to just walk in and finish the game off.
Dragon Rage lands the explosive cask, and that's going to be the finish off there. Trade of kills there as Heimer does manage to take out Thresh on his way down. Swipper trying to clear out the waves. Dragon Rage doing the same. We get the engage from Delicious Seal as Swipper just gets deleted by this Zed. And the follow-up here. So many Baron-empowered minions. Phantom Attempt goes in. However, they do have to back off here as there are too many members. So they can't necessarily just walk this in and take this game out. So it is going to be at least a chance for them to defend, although with 3 inhibitors down, it's not going to be too much of a chance at that.
Yeah, it just shows at this point how far behind Infernal Gamers are on gold alone. They may be down 13,000 gold, but they can't even hardly kill Baron-empowered minions. So Jace's spot of trouble, has the Guardian's Angel, though, so we'll be able to escape. Misfortune can definitely burst people out, but she needs to live to be able to do that.
Yeah, she has to have a chance to actually put down that damage. If she can get a couple of those shots, especially with those love taps, she can do a lot of damage and take out a lot of people with that lethality build. But unfortunately, she's just not staying alive long enough to be able to actually put that damage down.
Literally building the 6 tiers, signifying that there's nothing left in the game for her. 3, 12, and 3 has had a insanely rough game, and that's what we talked about early on with the picks, was the high mobility from the side of Totes Balance means that it made it so difficult for her to ever get an engage, and then Nidalee, being very squishy, is susceptible to the pop by the Zed, to the pop by the Shaco, and the stun burst damage from either a Pike or a Heimer. Just not Nidalee's game.
Another engagement for Delicious Seal. Trade of kills. Sejasis and Delicious Seal both going down as Misfortune cleans up the kill onto Delicious Seal. However, that is still a 4v4, and with one of the major factors out of play here, Phantom Attempt goes through, lands a second stun, gets the execution off onto the Thresh, and that's going to result in a definite kill here. Swipper tries to go in, get a kill, does not manage to take it down on DRF Cobra. Phantom Attempt puts down some serious damage, and the massive rockets come through, and that's going to be a pull. That's going to be the minions smashing the Nexus and putting a coffin in this game.
Yeah, nailed to the coffin of the side of Infernal Gamers. Totes Balance takes it all. We didn't have any audio, but that is all right, as Spectator is currently bugged in the game. We'll do the best that we can for tonight because we do not give up. But at the end of the day, a ridiculous game. You can go ahead and switch over if you want to show the stats as well from that
bug
one.
splat me again.
As long as it does the bug splat, that is the question. We'll find out in a second here.
Oh no, wait, hang on. I gotta set up another source because it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't have one for that. That's
hang
right.
on, I got this. I got this.
You
I
sure?
got this. Yeah.
All right. We'll give you a
Bam.
second.
Here's the here. Bam. There we go.
Oh, beautiful play. There we go. Zoom in.
I saved it.
Let's
I saved
check it out.
Zoom in?
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it. Nicely
All right.
done.
Okay.
So, Bears are the best. 15, 12, and 3. And a lot of those deaths came at the later stages of the game when, despite having a Guardian's Angel, just couldn't time it with the quick cooldowns on the Zed, the quick cooldowns on the Pike, the quick cooldowns on the Shaco, and died due to that burst. But the damage, if you switch over to the damage graph, this Fortune's damage has to be off the chains, as well as the Heimerdinger's damage. So, pretty
Total
insane
damage to
across the
champions?
board.
34,000 for the Misfortune. Heimerdinger sitting at 36,000 and Zed off at 43,820 damage.
We don't talk about Seal's Zed. That's just not worth talking about.
We shouldn't really talk about anything the Seal does, but you know, the Sealy things.
All right, well, give us your honorable mentions for that game.
All right, for the losing side on Infernal Gamers, I'm going to give the honorable mention over to Sejaces. Despite an rough early game, dominating early game, and then kind of turned around during the late laning phase, Sejaces did manage to stay relevant and actually put a lot of damage down throughout team fights, and was the major part to Delicious Seal actually falling for his deaths. A lot of the time, Delicious Seal would come in, and Sejaces would be in position to land that stun, land the knock-up, and start the CC chain to stop Delicious Seal from completely blowing his team up. Unfortunately, wasn't quite there the whole time. I am going to give the MVP over to Bears Are the Best. Like you mentioned, a lot of those 12 deaths came in the later stages of the game where really there wasn't too much you could do. You've got a Zed trying to jump on your face. You've got a Pike trying to jump on your face. You've got a Shaco trying to jump on your face. When you have 3 assassins, unfortunately a Guardian Angel just isn't going to help you that much, because once you come back up, the other assassin's just there to finish you off in the first place. But Bears did a fantastic job of putting those advantages into his team's hands to begin with, and giving them a chance to run with it.
And I completely agree with Bears Are the Best, because the positioning of this Misfortune in a lot of those fights was really good. Now, sometimes, not always, but sometimes you need to have your support literally just glue themselves to you and peel for you the entire game. And Misfortune, especially the way that Bears Are the Best is playing her, was perfect for that. So many times, if he got the peel, would just decimate. The damage at the end of the game, just popping people left and right, was the right way to build this Misfortune, because there were so many squishy assassins. 2 auto attacks would take out almost anyone on the other side's lineup. But the thing is that when you're squishy, you're going to get popped as well. Built the Guardian's Angel, another great build, perfect for the Misfortune, but just couldn't survive. I would have loved to see the Thresh build more of that straight up 100% keep Misfortune alive as much as possible. A Locket of Iron Solari has the Knight's Vow, which is pretty good. But anything that can add shields, heals, heck, a redemption would be good. Something that will make sure that Misfortune lives and ever engage, and then just glue himself to that Misfortune. But for this side of the winning team, as we are delaying a little bit on we're just talking too much about the picks and bans for this. I just got excited about the Misfortune. That was just awesome. Because you don't get to see Misfortune much. For the honorable mention, I've got to give it to Death's Design on this crazy Shaco top lane. So many outplays, being able to deal with 2v1s over and over and over. Says, you want to send more people up here? Let's go. Let's do it. I don't even care. Able to get at least a trade of kills, if not just a straight up kill. Decides to go the aggressive route of the Ignite, playing that AP Shaco so many times, escaping death by a sliver of health. That's what you want to see on a Shaco that just has crazy amounts of pressure in the top lane. And then for the MVP, it's a little tough across the board, but I think that I'm going to give it to Phantom of Temp. And I know that you're going to be like, oh, why don't you give it to Delicious Seal? Delicious Seal does Delicious Seal things, okay? He's always going to be amazing, but it's the most valuable player in this particular game. Phantom of Temp, landing the hooks in the bottom lane. As I said, once they got started, it was hard to get them stop rolling. And he, with a really good hook on Thresh, lined it up for Heimerdinger, and they started the ball rolling. Then his lack of fear when it comes to those engages, especially getting the quadra kill in the mid lane, was amazing and beautiful. Says, even despite being down, even if I get popped by misfortune, I've got the confidence, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to make some plays. And that constant aggression meant that Infernal gamers, despite having a better 5v5 composition, never had the opportunity to get 5v5 because Pyke was constantly harassing from the side, constantly applying pressure, constantly pushing turrets. They never were able to pick up a Baron. They were hardly able to pick up but one Dragon. Beautiful play just to keep that pressure on and make sure that everything keeps going. And thank you, Lord Reeves, for the 6th month sub. That is amazing. Are you going to play in game number 2? I would love it if you played in game number 2. That'd be pretty awesome. All right, let's go ahead and see. Let's cross our fingers and see if I switch away from this instant replay browser. Nope, I don't need that because this is spectator mode. Oh, we're not in spectator mode. We're back into the lobby. There we go.